Oh, testing 1, 2. Testing 1, 2, 3. Mic check. SCV Internet Marketers. I don't know if I'm like, hopefully there's a lot of people who can give feedback, because design is not my thing. Bummer, no John Carter tonight. No, he's in Texas, or family.
You're also screen sharing.
Oh, okay. Oish. Oh, you updated the details of this, the meetup,
Oh, I just
like this bullet point thing. I love it. I don't think I did that. We welcome seasoned veterans. That gotta be you, as well as internet newbies. Oh no, I meant veteran for military veterans. As an internet newbie is going to start putting online business. If you have questions about anything related to internet marketing, you should ask them at the meetup. E-commerce. Hello. Coming from out of the valley, or did you? Oh, okay, because I was just watching some news that there's a motorhome overturned on the 14 freeway coming northbound. Yeah, I mean, when I was coming up here, traffic, it took me an hour just to get from Chatsworth to here. And that's really bad because I left at 3:45. Should have taken 30 minutes to get here max. It took me an hour, but I couldn't figure out what was going on. And now I know why. Yeah, there's a motorhome turned over. Did you have a site that you want looked at tonight? Yeah. So we're doing what's called hot seat. Have you seen the emails go out?
No, I kind of been there for 3 months.
Okay. So basically tonight, anybody who has a website that wants critique from the group, you just put it up there, and then we will go over anybody who has expertise in anywhere, any ideas, anything that'd be helpful. You know, so if you want, since it's a first come first serve, put you in the queue. Oh, but it's a great way to learn about Oh, the DVD, yeah. That,
I have website. I actually have a website. Be too hard to make it do what it's supposed to do.
mm.
Like registering website.
DVD is pretty easy to use. I've recently seen. Steve, have you heard of another WordPress site builder that's becoming very popular now? That's similar to Divi Themes, where you can like create the layouts very quick. What is it?
Elementor.
I think that is the one. That's it's like it's taken off.
Drive architect.
Maybe that was the one.
It does the same thing, but it's more towards
Matthew.
Internet marketers.
Oh, it is.
It's a plugin.
Yeah, so it works. They said you can. From what I saw on some of them, you can adapt anything that's already in place, and then you put the plugin, and then you can change the formatting of it pretty easily. But I don't know where I heard it. I might have been on the road, so I couldn't take a place for me to actually hear anything because I forget when I get to my destination what I heard. So unfortunately, I don't remember. But Elementor, I think it's called Element. I think you're right.
So they have almost like a like a predefined layout. All you do is just remove the elements, add your own image, or maybe adjust the layout. But it's basically a free plugin. It is free. It is a pro, but the free version is good enough.
Right.
I'll put this up I'll put a notes page up for today. One of the things that's really I really like about these theme builder pages, great ideas on good designs on themes. That's also one of the good things about it. And the other one was Unbounce.
Very good.
Oh.
How are you guys?
Good.
Staying cool?
Trying, yeah.
We were eating at that firehouse before we came here. It's nice and cool in there. And you think about the heat is just like, you have to crack open that door on your way out. We're just like, oh, God, I forgot about that. website?
Multiple.
Some experience.
Cool. You're here to sharpen my skills for you guys.
Any help? This is helpful. Did you want anybody want websites thrown up tonight to look at?
I asked my clients if they weren't comfortable.
Okay.
with that, so
No problem.
I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
I told them next round I'm getting them.
Okay. Do you have a website you want to throw up?
We actually work with people like Kohl's and Macy's, help them in optimization of the sites and support them like 24/7.
Oh, okay.
Those are very
Yeah. Matthew, do you have a website already? You want to throw it up? That's usually not a good sign when you don't want people to look at you. Okay.
So tonight's night, we show websites.
Yep.
So I want to show ours and hear what people have to say.
Absolutely. You want to give me the URL?
Innovationsid.com. There you go.
Okay, so I'll keep yours up here. I see it goes to a redirect.
What, Chris?
I see that it redirects.
It does.
Oh.
The other one's much longer. That's why I gave you the one.
Oh.
I'll be back.
What? I have heard of it. I don't recall. Was that Flash based, like Wix? Mhm. Mm-hmm. There's definitely something to be said about those the easy website builders like Wix and those type of things that are so fast. To make a WordPress site look like one of those can sometimes take forever. The design, those things are so nice, but they're so bad with SEO. I mean, to get ranking for Google, there's been sites that you can't even find you do a Google search for the URL and it doesn't come up. I've seen on those. It's that bad on some cases, and they claim it's getting better, but I haven't heard anybody say that they love it now as far as getting finding. Other than the building of it is super easy. Mm-hmm, yep. Yep. That's great.
And then he talks about how to launch your website and different things you do and things. And I go, man, this would have worked with the same piece. Like, guys, it's not gonna work. So I was doing everything over again. Actually, I do have one that I just inherited.
Sure.
Just think about I just right under there. It's called the Santa Clarita Diet.
The Santa Clarita diet?
That's right. Inherited 2 weeks ago.
Huh? You drop or?
Now,
Nope. It's called the
Uh-huh.
Santa Clarita Diet. Oh, come on.
is there a television show?
Is it the one? I'll explain it right now.
Oh.
You guys are more than welcome to butcher. They just inherit, so your guidance would actually. Okay. The realtor is actually, I like her. She's on top of things where she wants to go with this.
Oh, you're working with a realtor.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
A different perspective on how they want to do something because in light of.
This is not related to that show, that new show.
Well, here's the thing, right? So she purchased the domain name. She's got everything registered and trademarked. Sometimes, like I said, I haven't done any kind of deep dive into. I know she was having problems with the SEO, so that's one of the areas that has to be worked on. But because of the hit show, sometimes it gets piggybacked. That's why she did it. She's gotten some inadvertent leads and traffic from it.
Oh yeah, I can imagine.
Exactly.
So she owns a trademark, so she didn't have to worry about getting sued about taking it down.
Like, here's the interesting thing. Well, I think you guys already know this. Being from Santa Clarita, Santa Clarita is not you cannot own the name Santa Clarita. I think
Yes.
it's not incorporated. You can't. So you can, as long as that's to pose an argument to show that even though there's a similarity because of the show, she had to submit an argument to say and use other cases as examples where the word and other type of similarities are other cases that had it where someone I think there was one that she showed me that her lawyer case was that something purple the company was called Purple something and the other manufacturer wanted that name except they added the word the so they had to tell the USPTO that look they have Purple company I forget the full name of it but they have the exact same name but they added the and that was an argument and that cost an extra money for the attorney to push back on the PTO attorney and won. So
Wow, she had to fight a legal battle for it, huh?
well, she just figures if they want it bad enough, and this is the whole goal of the site, is if it's profitable enough, then buy it from me.
Brilliant.
Buy it from me.
Brilliant.
That's what it comes down to, right?
Yep.
So, and because the show's not guaranteed, and when she files by trademark say, there's still pending.
That is brilliant.
Still pending. So, but last week I was at 2 weeks ago. I was at the Inman conference for basically the real estate industry up in San Francisco, right? And what she wants to do with this site, so you're more than welcome to take it apart because I've gone through a couple ideas with it, is number one, I don't know if anyone heard that the Remax CEO went off on the CEO of Redfin and Trillia on the stage because he called them out and said exactly that, I mean, now the video's up there on Google, look for some parts of it, but he went off on them by essentially just telling them, we know what you're up to. Those are off the agents, just like you guys did with the insurance company. Which is pretty much, I mean, that handwriting's been on the wall for about 5 years. I mean, when Redfin and Trillia came out, figured out that if they control the inventory of the homes, and it was a one-stop shop for buyers, why we need agents?
Yep.
Right. Number two is people have problems with agents. There's 50-50 crapshoot with good agents versus crummy agents.
Mm-hmm.
They take a commission, right? So I had worked with a startup down called Matt's House down in Austin that tried this, and it worked pretty well, and then got sold. So I have been trying to work with real estate trades in California has an uphill battle as far as what they want to do with the agents because the California Association of Realtors is a very powerful lobby. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, this is not going to happen overnight.
Yeah.
But she's a young realtor, and so she's millennial, and she figured out that if the Remax CEO is going off in Redfin Trillia, that means, it's getting near. They're going to start phasing in, and then like in Arizona, I think today in Arizona, Redfin got their broker's license.
Really?
Yeah. So, but they say they're not going to push out the agents. They say it's business as usual, but they got their license in the state of Arizona today. So the point of this was that she decided that, and what she's noticing is that when buyers, come in, they're already using Redfin and Trillia sites already, right? So her competition has all these the same things standard plugged in to look for the homes MLS, right? So she figured, why not take an approach, create a homeowner experience? Because what she has heard is that mobile apps, the reason why some of them are very successful is because of the user experience. People have an emotional attachment to it. People like it. They like the way it works. They become dependent on it. So for like buyers, why not have a site that could still produce leads for her, but be more on gearing toward providing more of a homeowner experience? So what does a homeowner need when they first purchase a home, right? Maybe they want some things related to a garden. Maybe they want to find out a plumber. Maybe they want best time to buy a mattress. They know that, and now with a lot of smart, projected supposedly 40,000 new homes in this area within the next 5 years. A lot of those homes are going to be smart ready. So, and people are not going to know what am I going to use for smart technology? How am I going to use smart technology? So the key was to create a blog, to use the site to create a blog, and then pump in a lot of things that are more geared toward home buyers, and at the same time for sellers, but letting sellers know what they need to do for for their upgrades to improve on a technology basis, to make it more smart. On top of all that, she is a millennial. She knows that millennials have certain criteria in homes.
Oh, this is definitely the age, yeah.
Baby boomer generation who's selling their homes, right? A lot of them need to upgrade and put in smart technology because the millennials who are coming in, she's noticing they're making certain requests that the baby generation is like, well, I don't have that in my home. I don't have that. But the fact of the matter is, in some cases, it could raise profitability by about 10, 15 grand if you add some smart technology in your home. Smart windows, for example, is another one.
Yeah.
So you have to do the numbers, age of home, and stuff like that. Why not just go to home buyer experience? Recommend or recommend Julia. My name's already on there when they get the phone. My name's already on there. So why not, instead of having to stand up real estate stuff, make it a blog so everything that they need when they purchase a home is on this site.
Number one thing that comes to mind, make sure she has a really good filtering system.
Okay.
That saves so, I mean, right now I'm like heavy into the real estate game again because of last month's talk that I did. For those of you that were here, I did a talk on real estate and getting into it. And it just lit the fire and I'm selling a duplex in Arlington, Texas, and looking for another property and been filtering out or I'm looking for actually a multiplex or multi-family unit here in Santa Clarita that I can buy as a personal residence and maybe a house hack, stay in there for a couple of years. And hopefully it appreciates, but I can then sell it without any property gain, what do you call it? Capital gains taxes on it if I stay in there long enough. But also, if I love it, then my in-laws can live next door and rent one of the units. We can control the rent. That's one thing. But I've been looking in Utah because I have a nephew out there, and property values are affordable, even for multifamily. And he would be able to get one of the units. I could let him rent one of the units for free or very cheaply, while he can not necessarily manage the other, but watch it over. But one of the things that I've been really noticing is the sites that I gravitate to have better filtering systems. The one with the best filtering system is the one that gets my eyes constantly on it. And of course, notifications. All day long, I'm getting notifications from the different sites. But Redfin, one thing that makes them really good is their notification system, but also the ability to get my mouse and circle the map, and it shows me only all the properties that's in my filters in that area of the map. Very cool feature. Makes things so much easier. So that's one of the things that that's very also helpful. Trulio has its own benefits as far as the demographics of the area, the crime rates, all this other information on there. But for her site, when we get to yours, onto hers, there's a whole bunch of things I was noticing on that I can add some insight onto that for her. Yeah. But so I'm going to probably just do some housekeeping for about 5 or 10 minutes really quick, because the more people we have in the room, the more beneficial it'll be for those of you that are sharing your sites. I don't see some of the other experienced people that normally come out. I know John Carter, who's always gives really great insight on things. He's in Texas, and I don't see the other John here tonight either. So, but we do have other experienced eyes here to go out and help with other things. So first of all, how many of you this is the first time here tonight? Okay, so this group, we meet once a month, the first Tuesday of every month. And basically, it's anything and everything that you have questions on internet marketing or websites or starting a business online, dealing with internet. If we can answer your questions, that's our goal, is to get anything answered that you can possibly. So if you have questions that come up throughout the night, raise your hand and just ask. It's very casual. We usually run till about 8:30 to try to make it a hard stop, where we still hang up and clean up, but that's where the contents, and that's the main part. So we can, if you want to network, you can talk to others then. Also, if you need to leave early, by all means, don't feel as though you're being rude. We know that babysitters sometimes need to be relieved, and that this is just one of those things that if content doesn't seem to be relevant to you and you want to wait till next month, that's fine. We can do that too. Normally what happens is we do have a subject matter we want to discuss. I've been asked by a couple of people over the last 3 months, can we have people critique websites? So this is the night that we're going to be doing that. For those of you here that were here last month, I did a really short talk on real estate investing, because it wasn't necessarily an internet marketing topic, but it was filmed. And the intention was to go ahead and make content, and then I was going to put up online and do a case study of how you can just take stuff that you know and turn it into something you can sell online digitally. And unfortunately, the recording didn't come out to the way I wanted it with enough content because it was too short. So I re-recorded it at home, but I did not get a chance to get it because, and I started getting a lot of inquiries about real estate that I got hooked on that and never got a chance to really put it up there. So that will still be something, it's a work in progress that's going to be happening for us on there. Now, before we begin with the main session, I just want to know if anybody had any questions that they want to make sure they get answered before the night's end about anything. I think, Matthew, it would be a good time for you to ask your question. Well, I'm going to bring it up because you're not going to get a chance otherwise. So I'm going to just, Matthew asked me if there's a way he likes to write that he can go ahead and use his writing passion or skill to go ahead and be put online. If anybody has ideas or directions or thoughts on how he can monetize that ability or even become a freelance writer and those types. Has anybody had any experience in it? Because I'll share what I told him a little bit about. I'll go more into detail because it's faster for me to talk it than to write it on a text. But does anybody have any experience in that or can share about it, about any passions that they've tried it?
Yeah. Just have a couple questions. Number one, are you any particular subjects that you want to write about in particular?
Great question.
Or,
I'm looking.
but any specific type of industry, any like product oriented, anything like that, or just?
Just kind of feeling it out right now. Doing a lot of research.
Okay. What's your experience in writing?
Mostly ministerial.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I want to, broaden and after the article, rewriting websites.
Okay. I mean, there's always looking for writers for their blogs.
Yep.
Always looking for writers. The thing is that my advice is to also, and I'm sure they'll help out tonight too, is also learn about SEO, because when you write, that's the ones who really are being successful in that business, in that space, are the ones who understand how writing and SEO correlate with one another. And you can do that. There are people, and I work with some of them, that will pay, minimum $600 a month to upwards. I've seen upwards of $1,200 just to be sure that you constantly write, because if you can get that SEO down at writing, and it also depends on the long post, short post, number of times per month. They're willing to pay because that helps, and it's all about quality now.
Very, very key point. Extremely. One of the reasons why I brought this book up, and it's not because I like this book or I've read it. Well, actually, I have a long time ago with the older version. But getting a very fundamental book on SEO, something like this, because the Teach Yourself Visually series is they do really good job of, just like the Dummy series, very good job of actually explaining things, and for visual learners, even more so how to do it. But like he said, though, I'm sorry, what is your name?
Rudy.
But the way Rudy explained that, I mean, the SEO skill, you can put that, and you actually can show that optimization in your writing makes you extremely valuable. He's totally right. In fact, when I was working for the school up here, when I was looking for a writer, as soon as she understood the power of SEO behind it, she got hooked on it, and she was my assistant. And once she understood the concept and how to write for it, not only did she was actually a graduate in journalism, so she had to change her writing style a little to make sure it matched what I wanted and how we were going to do it, because of the way that optimization is so important. But not only will it be helpful for you to become a freelancer because you can say you know how to write that is more friendly to the search engines, but for yourself. When you start writing, if you want to be found, having fundamental skills of SEO is really important, especially the content. Now, SEO today, there's a big factor in technical SEO, which means you need to know a little bit how the backside works with a lot of different things that is too much to explain tonight. But to understand that there is another aspect to it is really important. The thing is, if your content is not formatted right for SEO or not as friendly, then the backside will help a little, but it's vice versa. If your backside is not completely friendly in the right way, then your front side is, it doesn't have as much power. But when the two together put together, that's how you get your rankings put in. So there's a big area of SEO that's super important, which is this book is actually really good for beginners. I gotta say, but there's a ton of blogs on there, ton of so much information that you can actually look it up and do things. So that is a very good point. No matter what subject, I was hoping you'd go down, you need to pick a niche, because that is going to be extremely important, and it's going to be something that you're passionate about. Unless you're going to do freelance, then you at least have a good foundation of the things that you want to write before you get yourself put out there for freelancing. Okay, so there's multiple ways of making money online with content writing. One is being a freelancer, and the other is going ahead what's called blogging for dollars. You basically put up a blog, you keep writing about it, throw ads on it, like Google AdWords. If you want a faster approval with Google AdSense, you want to make sure that it's family-friendly content. That's going to be one thing that's kind of essential too. And you probably want to have an established. Now, one thing I've told Matthew in the past, anybody who's interested in going down that path, because we usually have people that come in throughout the year that say, that's what I want to do. I want to become a writer. I want to get a site up. I want to get a lot of exposure. I've been asked if I could coach some people. And what I tell them to do is give me 25 articles. And if you, after 25 articles, you can go ahead and we'll start putting it up. I'll tell you how to sequence them out. Nobody has ever finished 25 articles. It's interesting, you know, and if they can't do 25, can you imagine if you even do one a week, that's 52 in a year. You need to have it up for at least a year, because it takes a minimum of 2 to 3 years of just regular good content for people to understand where you're at. Now, there's faster ways because of social media today that you'll get exposure in this, but still, when people want to see more content and you don't have it up there to start, you can lose your audience pretty quick. So that's another thing that I would highly recommend. The other thing is more people listen and watch than read today. Unfortunately, the whole next generation coming up is the YouTube and podcast generation. They don't read enough. In fact, it's shocking, but there's a lot of 20-year-olds, and I'm sorry if any of you guys are in your 20s, that don't know how to write script in cursive. And I mean, it blew me away. I had a whole team of 22, 23-year-olds and give them a pen and tell them to write, and they all turn beet red because they can't write script.
They don't teach it anymore.
Is it, they don't?
I don't think so. They don't teach it anymore.
Okay, no, that makes sense. I didn't understand what's wrong with you guys. But, they could, but oh my goodness. I mean, after a while, it's like, just type it. I mean, it was really bad. Wow. Okay, so that you know it was weird. I didn't ask them, why don't you guys know how to do this? I just thought there was like, they just stopped and they just forgot or something. But yeah, it's interesting. So they don't write enough because they don't read enough either. And so the readers are the ones that are accelerating a lot. But unfortunately, the next generation, you got to make sure that you're going to touch them more than just writing. Have another way to go ahead and reach out, because you can get a lot further with YouTubing a lot faster than you can with writing. And you can get a lot faster with podcasting today than you can, as long as you get the right niches and get out there.
A few resources real quick. iWriter is just, there's a lot of websites out there where you can hire writers to write for you. You can use Freelancer, Odesk, all of those. The quickest way to get jobs that I found is iWriter is, one way to do it. You have to, there's a lot more competition. If you just hop on Facebook, go on to just, it could be an SEO group. There's a lot of groups that are like 10,000 plus. SEO groups, bloggers. Oh gosh, what was that one? Authority Hackers is one that teaches people how to build websites based off high quality content that are authority websites that have some longevity. If they have a group, anything along those lines, just write a post. Is anybody looking for a US-based, that's important, US-based writer? And if you're just starting out and trying to build a portfolio, say, I'm willing to work at a discount because I need to build my portfolio. You're going to get a lot of messages. And I've seen that happen multiple times on many different groups where it's just like you get instant interest. So there's that. We were talking about SEO real quick, on-site SEO or on-page SEO. This guy, Matt Diggity, he tests all the time. So when it comes to database, database decision, that's all he does. He proves his strategy through data. So like he'll build like 1,000 sites,
he has a big team now. He'll just say, okay, Google just came in with an update. Let's test this. Build out 1,000 with this criteria, and he'll report on the decision. He has some really awesome case studies. But he also has if you just click on get this on-site SEO guide, you'll get on his list. But it's a shorter, I think it's like 50 pages or so. And it's just a fantastic on-site guide.
The guy's amazing. And he's so humble, too. He's amazing.
Technical SEO. This guy, Ryan Stewart, he runs a company called Webris.org. Just look at his stuff. I haven't explored it too much. I just remember he's developed all these awesome tools that are geared towards technical analysis for websites, all for SEO. He just recently sold his agency for some ridiculous number. I'm not sure how much.
You may want to read the book first because when you listen to them, the vocabulary you'll learn from the basic fundamental book before going on to that. But by all means, everybody else learned. I mean, you can jump into that and start learning just right off the ground running too. So that's a good thing to actually think about as well. No, yeah. So that's really the last. I was gonna tell you one other thing. If you want to consider. Oh, I can't remember. Oh, it'll come to me later. But yeah, so that's kind of a good place for you to begin and start looking into. Oh, if you're going to write about stuff and you really want to get people's attention and retention, make sure that you're always offering how to do something and not just thinking entertainment's going to be enough. Otherwise, I mean, if you just think about entertaining, there's a lot of things that the entertainment factor doesn't necessarily cut it when you really want people to. So if you have a skill that you can teach the world something, that's where you're going to be getting a lot of following, that kind of thing. So that's the last thing. Okay, so I think what I want to do is I do want to go ahead and start getting into the websites. So what was your name? Don. He was here first, so we had a first come, first serve. We're going to be putting up websites.
What is your website about?
Actually, before we start, one of the key things that I've always heard is that in the first 6 seconds, the audience should know what your website is about. So if you take a look at it and you can see and know what's here, can anybody tell me what this website is about other than Don? That's your main product?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
For me, it was kind of a question. That's how I read it. Yeah, it's like the first 3 seconds is kind of identifying what's going on here. It wasn't just immediately like you saw whatever the exact product is. I wasn't really sure what the travel tags were. It took me a second to identify those.
So one suggestion is to have some type of headline here that states exactly what problem you solve for the audience. Like, well, what problem does your tag solve?
Maybe I should have been. There's actually a headline. Maybe I should have made it a little bigger. How many times have you struggled about your luggage at baggage claim?
That's, yes, it should be a little bigger. That is, let's see, life is a journey, travel happy. That's actually really good too. I would say though, like, see your bag instantly, or something along the lines of how fast you can identify your bag, or what's a common, I guess, confusion that happens, or
that's what you're solving, luggage identification.
Basically, it's one of my it's actually the site would be a showcase of a couple of products, but I would say that my main product would be luggage tag. Okay.
What is the emotion? Can anybody tell me what emotion you got when you first saw the site?
Yeah.
So that you nailed it. If that's what you're looking for, it is definitely a good coloring as far as that. By the way, there is, as far as for those of you that have sites where people actually use the site for something, like yours, I know you have motorcycle parts. If they're finding, if there's a search feature, does your site have a search feature?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you have a search feature, then there's people are going to be interacting with your site to find information or find stuff. This is one of the books that actually talks about user interface and the psychology of making someone go through. their site where it's almost automatically, they have no choice because they subconsciously get drawn to do things because there's only one button that says next page, and that's, there's nowhere else to go. They don't have to think. They know where to go. For as far as searches, make sure that your search, get a couple of people to go ahead and run through your search bars if you have that, because I said filtering today is huge. If you ever use Best Buy's filtering system, Amazon's filtering system, and then you come across a crappy filtering system, it's a big difference. You can tell someone to put it because it's almost intuitive. When you click down, you only have the 7 products that have only what you're asking for. Whereas others, you'll jump around all over the place, and some filtering systems are horrible out there. So there's a big difference on that. But this is one of the books I'd like to go ahead and recommend if anybody's going to be building a UI that actually customers need to do something on your site, including shopping if they're going to be buying. So that might be something to look at. Anybody have any other comments about this site?
Yeah, I think that as much as I like the Life of the Journey travel happy message, I think that having it feature so prominently instead of here's our buy it is maybe you could invert positioning those in that space there. That just has me wondering.
So you can buy off the site, right? Actually, it's there's a link to my product listing.
Okay, so what confuses me is what is free printables on the top in the menu bar?
So it's one of my future plans to have this free printables. I actually do some activities. I actually use Pinterest to drive traffic to the website. And one of these things that you find in Pinterest is that they have these printables that, free printables that people, they come in and download printable things. And essentially by doing that, they come to your site and.
Okay, so it doesn't really have anything to do with the tags.
No.
Okay.
No. Can you do printable on the tags? Luggage tags. Those, for the inserts. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, for instance, okay. I don't know if I'd leave that on the top. Because when I saw that, people's eyes go to menus. To see that, it gets a little confusing. What is the printables regarding? Travel, I would put this as travel tips other than just tips. Because then it enforces that this is a site for travel. The other thing is that your key message is that you have a tag that makes your bag identifiable amongst the rest. What about a photograph of 7 or 12 suitcases that all look kind of the same, and one of them has your tag on it? That actually solves the problem. Is now that is what I have happened at the airport. 8 other suitcases look exactly like mine. I would know because what I do with my wife and my mom, they make these huge pom-poms. I mean, I hate walking around with those things, but I tolerate them because I know which is my bag. Someone walks off with my bag, it's identifiable across the airport. These big fluorescent pom-poms are on my luggage. So which is kind of the same concept. It's something that actually identifies. The other thing is that my wife has these rainbow colored straps. Everybody has them though. So I've still picked up the wrong bag before. So just but that's another thing. The happy tags, that might be something, because if there was an image and the confusion of which is your bag, and you have 7 bags, maybe even a picture on a turnstile with one of them with your tag, I mean, that's kind of, everybody will be able to relate to something like that. That may be a suggestion on a photograph that I would give. Another thing I'd like to suggest before I forget is there are a couple of sites that give good suggestions on layouts and different other things. Your layout is, I think your layout is actually pretty good, but in case I forget later on, if anybody wants to look at other layouts, Unbounce is a website landing page company. They have the guy actually, I think he claims that he has looked at more landing pages than anybody else in the world, hundreds of thousands, and they analyze so many different ways, doing tests and all this type of thing that's on there. But if you look for their templates, you'll be able to get a good idea of because they only going to display some of the best results that they've had. Some of the templates will be very helpful. Does anybody have any other suggestions for him?
Just changing the titles and instead of Life of the Journey, Travel Happy. With the total question, problems on your luggage question mark.
Yeah.
It gets their attention. Oh, I do have problems with that. And they lead the reader to wiring those tags.
Yeah.
They know like a call to action.
I like, that's a good idea too. Yeah.
I think the colors are limited.
Any suggestion on colors?
Something brighter, more fluorescent. Well,
Yellow text on a black background.
yes, yeah, everything behind it.
Yeah. This text is a little light. I don't. I know. I guess that is more and more people are gravitating to that. Even WordPress is like making that almost one of their default on certain colors. But I don't know if I'm getting older and my eyes are getting bad. But is that what it is? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because it's only been recently where I'm like, why are they making it so light? I actually have to buy. I bought reading glasses like for my birthday. I asked for a set because all of a sudden I need reading glasses. So I guess it is my eyes. So you can disregard that. I comment, but
So life is journey. Is that your logo?
It's actually a like a tagline.
The things that perhaps okay.
There's some people online and they're so one of the things that with one of our, I guess, just to build trust with your audience, one of the things that they had mentioned was one first like some sort of search bar that it'll give you insight, but they said a search bar, but also phone number, right? So even if the phone number goes to a recorded line, it just says, hey, thanks for calling itravelhappy.com. If you have any questions, this is where you can find it. Or you can just send us a message. Just click the contact now button. Thanks so much.
or email us at. You know what's important about that is if somebody actually is a vendor and they say, hey, we want to order 500 of them, you missed an opportunity because you. Also, trust factor, like you said, phone numbers add a huge factor of trust with the people just because you have one up there. That's another thing too.
Yeah, if you look some of the Shopify sites, I can't show you any of the ones that I know, but they'll have the phone number and then they'll have the 5-star rating at the top. I mean, if you have those ratings to showcase, but they'll just put 5 stars just to kind of it's that Amazon factor. People buy more if there's 5 stars.
Any testimonials?
Yeah, that's a good idea too.
Yeah.
I will.
If you, let's see, I'm going to go to the more.
Did you say that you work with like corporate clients, like you said Macy's and big? What are your thoughts? Can I hand this to you? Is that okay?
Only on the, I have one comment only on the picture, the first picture, which doesn't look very clear. If you go to the home page, So if I mean,
To crop in, to zoom out a little bit.
I think the first thing that I see. I mean, my opinion on this is, of course, it looks happy and a nice picture, traveling and all, but the image of the tag is not very clear. So it's like if we can change it a little bit, or maybe somewhere show it like it looks like a tag. I mean, you have to scroll through and then see it's a tag. And I think otherwise as well, I mean, from a larger perspective, that when there are more and more images as the business grows, or you add more products or have more images, the you have various pages, right? You scroll through various pages. So the home page should like boom and give the best possible message, is what I feel.
Another maybe contrast for the tag to show is if you have a picture of a close-up of a black luggage handle and then your tag, and maybe the different sets going across there, because the black would contrast better with the colors to make them stand out, but also because then people see it's on a luggage and how it would stand out. The other thing is, I want your opinion on this, but Amazon is really big on getting everything on white background. And they say for a reason that it helps. They feel as it does more. Now, of course, there are other Amazon hackers that will say, well, if you put more stuff on the background to see if you can get away with it, like, other than white, you'll get more conversion. But that I believe it's because everybody else is white and you have different. But they do say that the white background has a strong, yeah, it's a strong liking to it, and that's why they like it. Because Amazon won't tell you to do stuff that's going to hurt any of their conversions. Period. I mean, they've studied everything as much. So I don't know. I mean, does anybody have an opinion that I'd say you might want to try something like that, using white backgrounds, because the different backgrounds is a little, to me, a little distracting of all the different tags that are there, especially because they're not being used on luggage. But I don't know. Let's see.
I think the header needs some work.
I agree. That's
the header needs some work. I would model it. Go after other. I mean, just take any other. Let's just say a website that makes a lot of money, right? That you know of. Just take a look at the header. Take Amazon, for example. Take or some other travel website. Or if you can find on Unbound, sometimes they might do like reviews of businesses that are in your niche that you can take a look at. But I would totally, for me, the headers kind of just like, the trust isn't there yet. I need to see some branding, like a solid logo. So like, look how big that search bar is on Amazon. Why did they make it that big? So yours is a little bit more niche, right? So you're doing what, one product right now, or how many do you have? Three. Okay, so that's not as important.
This is a good example of how maybe others, like even people have the white, just straight white on the background, that might be ways to go and showcase it on your
Yeah, like if you sort it by like what most popular or whatever, you can see how they showcase their product. Maybe there's a reason they have it showing the way that it is.
What do you have analytics set up on this?
I just did, yes.
Okay. Have you ever used? Do you remember what that was? A heat mapping software, the free one.
Hotjar.
Was it Hotjar? Where you can see what people do. It records it.
And
now, yeah.
There's
so
a few of them.
Yeah, there's a couple of them, and I have it too, but you might want to go ahead and install that, because there's some that actually do it for free for up to a certain amount. See what people are doing, because you can watch their mouse, and what's weird is people click in the oddest places. And you might want to turn it because you know that they thought like this color, still blue, attractive as a link. You're gonna see people try to click sooner or later on certain areas, but there isn't. Well, your pictures are clickable, but these. This one, the header. So yes, but that's something you might want to install, because it's free, and you can watch people you recorded what they do on your site, and then get an idea on it too. Is there any specific questions you wanted to know about yourself?
Okay, maybe this one on the this is actually on the printables. It's I'm trying to find a way. If you click buntings.
Click on what?
The ABCD.
This one?
Yeah, there you go. So, yeah, it takes a while to load.
What is this? What's loading?
It's printables, like free stuff.
Oh, it's a PDF.
PDF.
Okay. For that, I would take a screenshot of that, because it looks like it's taking a while to load.
Yeah.
I'd just take a screenshot of that, so it's like less than 50 kilobytes, and then just have like a link to the actual download.
And what does this do?
It's basically just one way of driving traffic to the website. One is a luggage tag, one is a luggage insert, and one of
insert. Okay.
What is the luggage tag insert? So that it actually for luggage tag templates. Believe it or not, that would probably get some play on that. Just luggage tag templates. If you put it as a free print tag templates, all kind of weird stuff on there, and that's some stuff. And that's how I keyed in to get a lot of traffic to it. Just free printables. my personal opinion is I would remove this because there's
Just, yeah.
people will go here. You're gonna lose your customer because they got confused, and then they're not gonna buy your tag anymore. Completely separate. Yeah,
Make the printables like a lead magnet.
Yeah. And so these go to your Amazon. This doesn't. You probably want to do it on your pictures too. Just hyperlink the picture to the same thing.
Is that the affiliate program on the right sidebar, or is that like your product on Amazon?
My product.
Oh.
This is a good picture.
That's a good picture.
I don't, actually, these pictures should be on your site. Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, I did see that, but some of these bigger ones should. There you go. You know.
You know, I like the idea that you had kind of before how let's just say it's on the little turn thing at the airport where there's a whole bunch of luggage all black, and the image, let's just say, is grayscale, so it's just black and white, except for one thing, those bright luggage tags.
Yeah.
You can go to the Burbank Airport because it's outdoors.
There you go.
Put 6 feet or something out, take a photo and get down.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Or just Photoshop them on.
Yeah.
That's another thing you can do too.
Fiverr. Use Fiverr and Photoshop it on.
Yeah, but some of these pictures should probably be. I mean, these show what they're in use, and that's some things you want to have on your site. So I'd recommend something like that too.
Before I forget, you can get a whole bunch of other people to give you suggestions, just like this. There's this is a WooCommerce site. Is it WooCommerce?
It's a WordPress.
WordPress. Oh, it's probably WooCommerce. Yeah, it's probably WooCommerce. So on Facebook, there is a group for WooCommerce, and there's thousands of people. It's like over 10,000 or something like that. Just say, hey, can you guys, tear apart my site? What can I do better? And like some of these threads get like hundreds of comments. So all like really, really cool ideas.
And I'm big on video. If you can get a video of someone walking up, going, like even something really short, like "Where's my bag?" There it is. So glad I got the tag.
So when he said video, it also contributes to time on site factor or SEO.
Yeah. So regarding SEO, did you do any optimization intentionally? I mean, is there any intentional SEO that you've done on your site?
Keyword, just just the primary keywords.
Which is
luggage tags, travel accessories.
Because I don't see luggage tag anywhere.
Not, in the back, no, in the back end.
Okay, so very important. The back end is a strong element of things, but you gotta have your keywords on your page. Luggage tag. I mean, in your menu, it's very powerful to have the keyword luggage tags, like luggage tag assortments, or our luggage tag products line. Something, I don't know. That's a very key. Should be, no matter what, should be in your H1, your title. No ifs, ands, or buts. Find a place to put that word. Preferably, it doesn't really have a huge effect, but closer to the beginning of your title is a little stronger than the end of the title. But I mean, it's not front or end. It doesn't really make as much of a difference. But if you can't put it like your luggage tag authority or something like that, where it's within the first couple of words, you want to have your keyword put up in the front there, and then of course in your first paragraph. Luggage tags are a great way to find your luggage fast and identify. Don't worry. I mean, it's kind of stressful looking for your bag, honestly, because I worry that someone's walking off with my bag because my bags look so common. I mean, so I would end the stress with a great luggage tag. Just something along the line to have the words, but you I'm sorry, see the word luggage tag anywhere. Kind of a key element. Now, putting the word luggage tag in all those places doesn't mean you're going to get ranking, because there's a bazillion sites out there that have the word luggage tags hundreds of times all over their site because they're established and been around. But you still want to give yourself a little advantage. The reason why it's strong in SEO is because it's also strong for the visitor. They identify where they're at and what they're buying. And so that's kind of one of the things, it should say something about the luggage tag.
Use that guide by Matt Diggity.
Yeah,
that'll help out a lot.
That'll be good too.
He gives like really good examples, also conversion rate examples too. Get to know a lot of really cool things. How many sites were you reviewing?
I have 4, I think, up.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So we'll go on to the next one. The other thing is your the last part is you want to name your images with what your product is, luggage tag. So luggage tag or something. The image name. That'll be just
Name of the site, right? Name of the site.
no, the name of the product. Yeah. Because if someone searches red luggage tag, it might actually show in Google Images because it's tagged that way. And that's where you can also get some traffic. So if you have any other questions, go ahead and just email me. Or, well, we can put it up on the other group there. Okay, so who was second that had the site, giving me a site? Yeah. Yeah. Okay, yeah, so we'll add yours on. So, okay, no, we'll make sure, yeah, we'll make sure we get to, okay, so the next one was that I had was innovation design. What was the short? Okay, so innovations, designer, home decor. Okay, so 6 seconds. I instantly know that this is for, or I instantly think this is for interior design. It says in the top left corner. That this is an interior design. Now, I don't know if it's a retail or a blog until I look through it. Huge savings selected items. So you sell product. So can anybody else tell me what you think this site is about?
About a mattress. The bottom left photo, for some reason, when I first saw that, I thought it was a mattress.
Distributor site? Anybody else?
I saw that it was about interiors. I saw the logo. Usually that's one of the first places I'll look is like once I see the images, I go to the image, I see what it is. Okay, that's interior stuff. Does it match the logo? Okay, interior design, I get it. But first, I guess the first kind of impression is it's a little bit busy.
Yes, because
I'm not sure where to go first.
This,
depending on, I guess, what I'm looking for.
my opinion is this, your key thing about your site. Designer, home decor, and accent furniture. That should probably be bigger because if I saw that first, I would know accent furniture. That's a great statement of what your site is about. Interior design, do you do?
I used to do interior design, and what makes our site unique in selling home decor and accent furniture is that I am an interior designer, and I personally select, and it says right there, all personally selected by our professional interior designer. So every item that we sell is personally selected by me. So what do you mean? Why?
Because, I mean, I don't know. I mean, to tell me if anybody doesn't disagrees with this. If there was a YouTube video right here with you actually saying, welcome to our site of designer, home decor, and accent furniture, what makes us different is that I am. And I personally select all the things that you're going to see here today, which makes a difference. Something.
I've had that same thought. I think because I'm her husband and I'm the geek on the side. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Now, on that, see what's in my head. I do not like sites. I don't mind them playing a video. I get really annoyed if I hear sound, unless I do something. But what do you suggest?
I'm not saying autoplay. So, because I mean, I don't like, the thing is, people go to sites at work and they don't want autoplay either. Right. So only if I know that there's a video and I'm going to play it, I'll put in headphones. I mean, I don't play videos at work, but I would put in headphones and then hit play knowing that there's probably going to be audio behind it.
There's a photo of her, and there'd be a few words around it, and then a play button so people, if they click on that, then it would play the video.
That's a great idea. Actually, I like that. That's probably a better idea.
How much of your traffic is mobile versus desktop?
Well, at this point, more of it is mobile at the moment, but that's because we're primarily running ads on Facebook, and I just happen to know that probably 3/4 of traffic is mobile. That being said, given what we're selling and the prices they're being sold, this stuff isn't expensive, but it's not cheap either. Okay, I mean, our most common items would be $200 and $500. Okay, I think she may or may not agree with me, but that a better buyer is somebody who is, older, has more money, and is probably on either a desktop or more likely an iPad or something like that, as opposed to somebody who's 25 years old on a phone who can't afford this stuff yet.
No.
Real quick, I'm going to Gordon here in a second. The only reason I asked that is because if you're going to put a video up there, most of your traffic's mobile, just like Facebook, they don't autoplay sound. They have subtitles.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then Gordon had.
I was just going to ask about who the ideal customer for your site is. And is there something you can do to say, if this is you, you're in the right place. Here's what to do next. If you're looking to decorate your whole house, go here. If you're looking to decorate just one room, is it a bedroom, a living room, a dining, and you can sort of give them some navigational guidance, maybe some different flows for depending on the answer to who they are and what they need.
That's a good idea. I appreciate that.
One of the things that stands out is it's busy at this site.
Well, and I was about to say that.
Yeah.
See, I mean, the interior design is all about visualization, right? The visual appeal. So that the picture on the top,
I mean, on the right, if we have a bigger picture there and the text on the left, we can somehow remove from the home page and have some other way of showing, is what I felt.
Yes, I agree. The other thing is that if you are going to have motion, which I guess a lot of people say that it is one of the things that kills conversions, is slideshows. Yeah, slideshows can kill conversions. If you are going to want to keep it up there, leave it longer and let it transition slower. Because
it's my intent now to kill the slideshow.
Okay.
I think that's really old-fashioned.
Yeah, I think he's right though. As an interior designer, I mean, it should almost be like just a background of a room, like a really well-designed room, and then with almost with you actually stating what the site's for, with that text.
And that logo is way back before we even had this website. She's doing interior design. Well, maybe we should not use that anymore because it might confuse people as to what it is, and really focus much more on the designer home decor and accent furniture, which is what it's really all about.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So majority of people that come to your website, I'm sorry if you already said this, is it the interior designers looking to work with you and to get help from you, or is it just average Joes like me or my wife?
It's people looking to decorate their homes. Okay. But we also, another thing that I've been wanting to do is to reach out to designers who are for them to purchase for their clients.
Okay. So that's why I really like Gordon's suggestion was having the process, like the flow. Don't know where to start. Step 1, 2, and 3. Only 3 steps. Break everything down into just 3 steps. Like, what are you trying to decorate? And then you can add those additional options and things like that. But like what Gordon said, I think that would make things easier for someone like me.
Yeah.
What's the age group for something like this? Purchase items like this.
What's the age group?
Probably because they're, like my husband said, they're not inexpensive. So I would say probably 35 and up.
So I don't know much about this, but would people buy this product if they have a house versus an apartment, or is it more suited towards anything with interior design?
My guess is homeowners for sure, right? It's gonna be
Well, but I mean, not all homeowners. I mean, you could be renting and still want to have nice things.
Sure.
And not everything is super expensive, but.
I mean, we have things as low as $50, but I'm saying that's not our most typical.
So
okay, so I guess let's just work from the top down real quick. So for the header, one of the things we found doing ads, free shipping is a huge seller.
Oh,
I
yeah.
would blast that.
Yeah.
I'd put that much bigger. I like it that it's red. I'd make it a heck of a lot bigger. And qualify, basically say free shipping included, and then qualify with whatever else that needs to be done. If you run ads, free shipping is huge. Make sure you put that in your ads too.
Chris, I want you to go back. Well, go back to the homepage if you want, because I had somebody on one of the outsourcing sites evaluate this also, and his comment was it's too busy. They're trying to do everything all at once, and I understand that, and I intend to change that. Well, I guess unless somebody else has a comment on this page, I'd like you to click. Let's say go it doesn't make much difference. Shop by style. Let's say click in that box. I want to go now. Click on now. Here you see a grid of items, and see, I myself in general, I'm fairly happy with this because it shows a nice grid. On the left-hand bar, it does have some choices. I know how to navigate in some way. But then if you just kind of click on any item to go to the product page, I want to see if anybody has any comments about this. So there you see a nice image of the product. If you zoom over, it's got a really nice zoom feature. Oh, you go up to the product itself. There, see?
Well, not even click on it.
Whoa, this is really,
Yeah, I didn't
that's,
say click. Yeah.
that's nice.
It does like that Ajax or something where you just hover over it and it automatically zooms.
Right. There you
Oh,
go.
I see.
And we think that's really nice. And it's got a couple of images down there so you can look at different perspectives. And then you see, you know, the title, the price, the description. That kind of
You actually have a template that's comparable to the big boys, like Home Depot, like yes, and Lowe's, and I mean some of the others. And
Okay, so one thing I would change, I'd make the image bigger. If you look at like other e-commerce sites, one of the things I've noticed, so I'm kind of in the process of analyzing just the product pages. They will make this. They will design the color of add to cart a very specific bright color.
Yes.
Which you see right there, the search button, big bright red.
Yeah.
They'll be able to see it easily to click on.
Yeah, this should be a
They usually
different
have it
color.
down below the description. And they make the add to cart button a lot bigger.
I agree. That's actually, the art card should be a different color, so it's contrast to catch the eye. I wouldn't put it.
The description, maybe the way that format, if you got some bullets in, spread it out a little bit.
So format.
Bullet, yeah, so especially when it comes to this, the features,
yeah,
bullet points will be good, so that kind of gives it a little more segmentation on it. If you don't have to use the read more, then let the text stay on. The read more was here that I clicked on it.
Yeah.
If you cannot have that, because it fits, you don't need to have that. You might as well have all of the information on there.
I think the red kind of blends in with all the other red, and it's kind of hard to.
I agree with that
the
too.
red
Yeah.
blends in with the other red. So like the description and the H tag, like the header, like the title of the. Yeah. Yeah. One of the things I learned with just design in general is you want your action buttons to be separated from every other button, so it stands out. So the red button is the action button. You want them to do something. On this page, it would be, you know, add to cart. Everything else would be a different color.
One of the reasons we did the read more rather than putting all the copy on the page is because we have that below the product that says our designer also suggests, and then I make suggestions for other products that they may also like that are similar designs.
It's a fairly common technique on a lot of websites. So, you know, you got to click on a plus or something to see
Yes.
more. I mean, it's not real important. You know, it's kind of like you got a book here above the fold.
Yep.
As she pointed out, we wanted some stuff to be above the fold.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. One of the suggestions I'd also make is that's another kind of interior, a lot of other stuff. I would look at how they set up their products, but you know, like who's the biggest competitor in your market, specifically interior design products?
It will be Wayfair and House.com.
Check out
House.com.
their website to see how they structure their product. Because they got the budget for split testing, and you know if their budget's that big, their company's that big, usually that's a really good place to start too, just to see are there any similarities. If there are, that might be an indication where it might be a good place to start a split test. You guys plan on doing that?
Okay. Now, one thing in the description itself, you see the color. It's chocolate. And Chris, getting back to your comment before about, well, is it too difficult to read? You know, and I mean, I can make it black.
You know what though? So those are, I know you guys can't see my monitor. It's a lot sharper on my monitor.
It is.
So this, I mean, because they're so white, but it's not that hard for me to read on this. It actually looks almost chocolate, dark. You know, that, so that looks red because of the way I think the projector is putting it out there. Okay. Does I guess just anybody have any other last comments? Actually, I was going to mention that too, but when you said you're going to be changing the header, that would be recommended because if it's designer, it should be as modern updated as possible as far as the design of the, especially the top.
Maybe a lot of whites, a lot of color.
I'm thinking that if it's a CEO website, like a CIP, that's very easy.
No, very to the point. I think well, maybe I understand. You're talking about primarily about the header.
Yeah, that is neat how IKEA has, thousands and thousands of products, but their header is just, one, two, six links. Oh, they have a slider. I'm bounced would be ashamed.
Since you actually are specialists in design, though, I don't know if like following something this template, because this is totally e-commerce, where yours is going to be a little more connecting first before that's a why that you're going to be finding on there. So the only other thing I wanted to go ahead really just to brush over is, do you have any SEO questions? Optimization, how are you guys being found right now? What is your marketing driving? How are you driving traffic to the site?
Primarily Facebook advertising right now, and really isn't, well,
Pinterest?
First of all, this is a Shopify website, okay?
Okay.
And Shopify is pretty good at building things in for SEO,
Mhm.
right? The website has good content, which of course is also important for SEO. So at the moment, well, again, I really want to rework this homepage and do make it much cleaner, as people have said here. Right?
Mhm.
But beyond that, I'm not sure what else I can do for SEO.
Okay. Use social media and backlinking. That's going to be one thing that's going to be key. So like even Pinterest. Pinterest actually does drive juice because traffic comes from there, especially with designers. Pinterest is huge with designers. So do you have a Pinterest account? Okay. So is it driving traffic to your site? Are you looking at the analytics? Okay. Facebook is the primary way that's been doing a lot.
And she writes a blog. Here's the thing. Each week she writes a blog that goes out to about 1,000 people.
Okay.
Matt Diggity, that resource I gave earlier, Matt Diggity, if you go on one of his blogs, he has a case study of e-commerce SEO. So I'd take a look at that.
Okay. Okay, so the next site is the Santa Clarita Diet. Now, I want to make sure I didn't miss anybody, right? Rudy, you were next, right after that? Okay. Okay. So for those of you that missed it, the Santa Clarita Diet is actually Rudy, you want to explain the I guess the main idea or the goal of the site?
Sure.
Goal. Yeah.
So this is a real estate agent. I just inherited this about a little less than about 2 weeks ago. The real estate agent has realized, that long-term wise, agents are just not going to be around. Trillia and Redfin are proving that. Okay. If anyone didn't hear, I was sharing with them earlier. Remax Keller Williams, and Williams CEO got into it on stage with Redfin and Trillia, and called them out on stage that he knew that their goal is to do away with the agents, just like they did away with insurance agents. So it was pretty testy. Some parts of the video are out there. I was at the conference. It got pretty testy, to say the least. And I was sharing with them with Arizona. Redfin got their broker's license, but they tell everyone, all the brokers, it's business as usual, but they got their broker's license in Arizona as of today. So this agent has been, we've been talking for the last month. And so then 2 weeks ago, she brought me in to completely now just do a complete revamp of just everything. Not a revamp, but just site marketing, everything all across the board. Knowing that agents are not going to be around is how to create more of a home buyer experience. Because one thing she noticed was that mobile apps tend to have the ones that do very well from her research, which is anyone who's worked in technology knows this is pretty accurate, is that once the user enjoys the experience and has an emotional attachment to that app, they will go to that app. That's just the way it is. And so to stand out differently from other real estate agents who constantly have their MLS directory on their homepage, knowing that the users already go to Red Fan and Julia, she has her card out there for the home, so they already know what they're looking for. So now the purpose is create a blog, better inform home buyers and sellers, make it more that it would be a little bit more on the product side. Because when people purchase homes, they're going to be looking for certain items. They're going to be in need of certain things. And now with new homes that are being forecasted here to be built in Santa Clarita, some of those homes are going to be smart ready. And so people that are going to be selling homes are going to be looking for ways to upgrade their home to compete with the prices when they sell their home, and they're going to need smart technology. On top of that, millennials are beginning to move into this area from outside from across down the hill, so to speak. And they're coming with unique requirements for homes that they're purchasing, and a lot of it relates to smart products. And so that also means take something as, regardless of whether you're a millennial or not, if you want to purchase a mattress, if you're going to purchase a new home, maybe you need a new mattress. Well, there's a lot of smart mattresses that are out there now. So make this more product oriented, so it's more of a soft lead generation for her. And that what happens is the buyer or seller, when they buy their home and they have information about products, real estate, everything on one site, then they always know where to go, because eventually it becomes a one-stop shop.
Okay.
There is one thing that is kind of in talks, is possibly, if this does work, this experiment, then it possibly would actually turn into kind of a little bit of an e-commerce site where the products that you're advertising, Mark, now can be bought directly from the site. So the home buyer now has their agent or seller, the home buyer particularly, goes to Red Fan Julia, looks at home. She does her lead generation through Facebook ads, now Instagram ads too as well. They come, they find out more about her, they find out more about the whole real estate experience, everything what they need, what they want to consider, purchase checklist, everything, smart technology for their homes, etc. And do it all on one site.
Okay, so with that in mind, how did she get the URL?
She knew that when the show came up, she went online, looked at the PTO directory, and it came up, and their registered and trademark was pending. And she filed one, and she added the.
So they didn't buy it?
No.
Wow.
She registered a domain somewhere else.
No. Hers.
Everything was pending.
Yeah.
Santa Clarita Diet was pending. The Santa Clarita.
She filed it. She did her homework and realized the help attorney is, first of all, no one owns Santa Clarita. Right. So that means all you need to do is just play around with the word and get it. The domain name was open, and she bought it.
I'm a trademark lawyer, and that's why I raised the issue.
Yeah, she actually went through the legal battle.
Okay. Anyway, she got her legal advice, so I don't want to jump in and great. Just double check.
Okay. So here's first of all, 6 seconds. You didn't know it was about real estate. Did anybody ever think it was about real estate when you first looked at it? And that's the only thing I'm really concerned about it as an agent. Her branding is very confusing, that target. So if it's going to be about real estate, I think the tagline is got to dominate somehow. She's going to stick with it for that marketing, and put houses somewhere where it's still, just because of the word itself, everybody's going to think it's a diet website, that it has to go ahead and be some way that it can quickly force them over. Because
can you tell us what the website is about in less than 10 words? Yeah.
Start off as a blog.
Right. Okay, but like if we can put a headline up there, right? So like on the hero image, rather than the video, if we just put like a hero image in like, let's just say, less than a sentence, what could we put up there to really just identify what the website is and what the benefit is for that person to be on this website?
I agree.
That's one thing I was just thinking of, because that's like one thing a lot of websites do.
Now, to be honest, because I'm the real estate thing now going into heavy, I don't honestly believe Redfin is going to wipe out, because real estate agents are too important in this industry. If she can utilize Redfin, the way she's doing it is a brilliant way to go ahead but I think if she actually markets herself as an agent who can help, because Redfin is just not, it's not enough. I mean, really, especially for the first-time homebuyer. Millennials are all the first-time homebuyers that are walking into the market. I don't care how good a site is on giving you information about the prices of stuff. The home buying process for most people on the first time is scary. And to have somebody hand-holding is where the key essential is. If she can target as well, if that's going to be her market, I would actually target that she's the perfect person to handhold any first-timer through the market deal. Because that is, when I first bought my home, I was terrified I was going to lose a ton of money and make big mistakes. And once I connected with a real estate agent, solved everything. He's like, don't worry, I take care of everything for you. This is the process, explained it all. And that was key. Again, me in videos. If she can be up there and explaining the real estate process is a lot easier than you think. But websites can also be, if she can know the emotion of going through using Redfin, going, okay, so I have these 7 homes. Now what do I do? You know, and if she can actually help them, say, don't make, you know, you can make mistakes on buying a house that you don't, the simplest thing you don't realize is there are places in Santa Clarita that smell horrible when the wind shifts, and brand new home areas. Right. You guys know what I'm talking about, where the Cross Valley connector comes across that area. It's kind of close to Walmart, but it's where it comes, the new street that, well, not new now, but when the wind shifts and it blows toward Bouquet Canyon Road and off that, there's a dump. It smells like sewage, really, really bad. Most of the time, it kind of just stays in the area, goes up, but it does smell bad if the wind shifts. I don't know how those people can. Well, the thing is, 80% of the time, you don't smell it. But yeah, it can be, and there's other areas in Santa Clarita that have that area where you smell gas. And it's just, if you've been here long enough, you'll find these areas that you just don't, or the 3 o'clock train, 3 a.m. train goes through and honks its horn. And I can hear it from my house, and I'm like 4 miles away. It's like, I don't know how those people in those apartments, but there's areas that have those kind of things people don't think about. And she can be the answer to make sure they don't make a mistake. And I would say that's one thing that would be, oh, it is a video. So I thought it was just an image. Is it sound? You know, actually, it's probably the same. So that's good, though. I mean, it has that, but I don't see homes. Like, that's kind of one of the things that people want to do. Okay, so does anybody else have comments on this? Keep in mind, it is a brand new, it's a work that he just got. So, you know, he's tear it apart. So, yeah.
When I see diet and I saw that drone view, I thought it was something on like health and fitness. Like, you know, I saw a jogging path. That's the first thing that came to my mind. I was going to television show.
Yeah, so she's gonna have to battle that pretty hard. Everybody thinks it's the television show, right?
She's gotten leaks from it.
That's good.
The television land on it, and they end up seeking information. That was one of her goals.
I wonder how many people actually want to move to Santa Clarita after watching the show, or like are curious about it.
That's one of the first questions I asked.
Because I've never watched it, but I mean, if they're showing homes in Santa Clarita, we got nice communities here.
So real quick, so you said there were some leads that came through.
Yeah.
What do you know? What pages they came through on? Would they just land on the homepage, or like? Do you have like conversion track?
Primarily through the homepage, because she.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, so she's gotten them, you know, from Google and then through her Facebook ads.
Oh, okay.
So even like this, I don't know. I mean, it's kind of long, but my idea would be about the SC Diet home buying experience, just so that it keeps on getting to the fact that it's home buying. It's about real estate. Yeah.
Got 1 minute. I'd organize that blog a little bit better. That's
another thing too, is I noticed that when I just kind of looked over the blog, it kind of went all over the place. Like one word for 2017 doesn't really have a title on. She might want to title stuff more about with real estate words. Home Sweet Bitcoin. I thought this was about a Bitcoin post more than home. This is good. Number 5 city. This doesn't. Santa Clarita ranked number 5 total assessed value. Maybe that would be a better title on some of these. But She's active, definitely on her blogging, huh?
Yeah, she's more active in it.
So that's what. Yeah. So she doesn't show up at all, right?
No, not as prominent as she used to.
Oh, so she used to be on the first page?
She used to. Yep.
Do you know what pushed it down?
No, I haven't investigated just yet.
The show. IMDb. Yeah.
Oh, here.
If they found her on Google, the bounce rate's so high that Google's like, okay, the user experience is probably not good. So.
Oh, you know what? There's actually a just SantaClaritaDiet.com site. That one is getting more play. Great Skin Bath Bomb. Wow. Did she get sandboxed?
Not that I'm aware.
Just do site : the SantaClaritaDiet.com.
Well, it's up there. That's good. Okay.
Okay, go to the next one.
Okay. Well, being that this is not like, this is like, because you're gonna rebuild this. Is that what the does anybody have any suggestions on, I guess, a rebuild?
Yeah, actually, that was one of the first things. Yeah, I agree. Yep.
Yeah.
Video.
Yeah.
And that's interesting. I don't see any pictures of her. Almost every realtor loves themselves. That's out, but there's a reason for that because it's personal. Yeah, it's personal branding. So she might want to go ahead and put herself up on the front page somewhere. You know. Okay. Any other questions or?
No.
I would actually put up, the only other thing is I would put up a sticky post, like something that's a paragraph that's explaining right at the top that has a good explanation, maybe even with a video or an image of her on there as well. Yeah.
This is a resource really quick. If you guys, there's a book, Russell Brunson, you'll get his emails if you sign up for this, but he has a book and it's free. You just pay shipping and handling. It's 108 proven split test winners. It goes over a lot of things like videos, headers, and everything like that. And you can just flip through it, see what they split test and see which one won.
That one's pretty cool.
Cool resource.
Yeah, I've seen that book. I know.
Russell Brunson. 108 proven split test winners.
That guy is a marketing master. So just expect that you will be marketed. But
yes.
The thing is,
kinds of products.
I would also highly recommend when you're looking at his stuff to take a look at it as an eye from somebody who is a master of what he tests everything to. And for a young guy, the guy is like highly sought out, and he's one of the highest paid consultants on the planet for conversion optimization on there. He's just, the guy's brilliant. But yeah, that book is actually really good. That sounds very familiar.
That's that's what it sounds like.
Okay, Marissa Murgatroyd? Marissa Murgatroyd? Oh. Okay, so 6 seconds. That is about.
Yeah, the name of the website kind of gives that like hint right away. It's like, okay, I kind of know what I'm getting into. And then life career coach.
About 95%. I moved it over from a Divi theme to Thrive Architect, so still got some little polishing to do, but it's mainly a direct response site to get her consult requests. That's how she sells her packages, her coaching packages. So got to get them on the phone, and so everything is designed to get people to request a free consultation.
Okay, because she's a one-on-one coach type, my eye went here to the life and career coach, but you might want to make that a little bigger.
Oh, really? Okay.
Just the word life and career coach, it stands out because I'm trying to look at it. That's where it's at in a positioning standpoint.
Proportion to her name.
Yes, a little bigger proportion to the name. The thing is, script is harder to read than print.
Yeah.
So my eye skipped over the script, immediately went to the print, and that's the first thing at the top, and that's why 6 seconds, immediately I knew what it was. But my first thought was that should be bigger if that's what the site's about.
I also thought about moving it off to the side, to the left of the menu.
I don't know, does anybody have an opinion on that? I like where it's at, but does anybody have an opinion on that? To the left?
Do that, I think, just doing the opposite side because you have a heavy element here. If you want to move it to the side, I said just go to the top left because you have the heavy element here. And a heavy element here. Yeah. And about
I was thinking the same thing.
I think there's a lot of text underneath the image that goes down quite a bit through the page.
I agree. So that's why another thing is a video, but then just pictures to break up the length of the text. That's going to be something that's going to be a little more helpful for the flow. But is she expensive? Which I'm going to guess the site says that she's probably.
No, I mean, we want to give her the image that she is
high value,
higher end coach, but she's not.
Okay.
She doesn't charge what higher end coaches charge. She's very reasonable, actually.
Let's go to the top, Chris. So, like you said with script, it was just hard for me to read, get clear, get unstuck, get moving. So I prefer, more regular, some like sans here. Yeah, you're on it. And then
We wanted something a little bit more feminine. So I tried to get something, some sort of text that was it was readable, but also had a finesse to it, and it's a fine line.
there's one more thing I would add to that kind of hero section would be a call to action, some sort of button where they can get in contact with her.
I actually, my first idea was to put the book your free consultation or book your free call right where the subtext is in the header. And I was kind of debating, and I'd actually like to split test that against
like right under hi, is it Chiara?
Yeah,
Chiara.
Actually, I would just put it in instead of that, or maybe underneath it. I'm not sure.
That's all I was gonna say. You put this red button under there with an arrow pointing to it, for click here now. But it'd be really powerful is her telling somebody, click there, chance to talk to me. I mean that's one thing.
It would work better than just the hero image.
Yeah.
Or in addition to, like, put it down.
Well, the hero image, I would use this hero image to break this up.
Just kind of put it in the middle somewhere.
Yeah.
They say you don't.
This is a lot of text.
Yeah, they say you don't want to. If you scroll down, you do not want to see a wall of text. You want to see something to break that up as you scroll. If you're running into that right there, that's a problem.
Yeah. Even people. But those who do it, they will all because it's just a lot of work.
I used header images for all the other pages, so there's different images, and I used a different kind of scriptive text. I need to optimize the images too, but just to kind of get a bit more visual appeal. So
Again, I would still put more pictures of her, even if she's pointing at the text or something.
Okay, it's cut off.
Yeah, it's responsive image or something that's not of her. Yeah.
Does that box always stay open like that?
Pops up. I have it timed at like 120 seconds, so I can choose to have it pop up anytime I want. But she does actually get quite a few consoles from that particular box, where they can click off if they don't want to.
You have to put a consultation to talk about the number that you call it.
They can actually call her.
So they can call her anytime from that link.
Oh,
Got a question over here.
Oh, I'm just curious about, have you split test the wording of your call to action buttons and the let's talk to pull the thing up? Yeah, because I think a results oriented.
Question was about split testing the call to action button.
Inspect let. Whoever's talking about watching people, called Inspect let. That's the tool. You just put in a small little scripted job on the pages, and then you can have recorded video of people what they're doing on your site every day. Like, so that's something you might want to add that on here too, because you want to probably know how far people are going before they're quitting, if they are or if they're not.
Bounce rate right now.
Okay, that's not bad.
Strictly Bing traffic right now and Google AdWords.
Oh, that's not actually not bad at all.
I've optimized the actual keywords to just, I would say maybe a maximum of 20 keywords right now that I've split tested before through tracking software to know what converts into consoles.
Mm-hmm. So exact match keywords straight in.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah, that's really smart.
So
and
it's just a matter of refining that.
You're doing geographic locations on.
Pretty much, we advertise just U.S. and Canada.
Oh, so it's nationwide.
Yeah.
Ooh, that can be expensive. Now that you're only using 20.
We have advertised to Australia and the UK too. I mean, any English-speaking countries.
Global,
potential candidates for potential clients.
Did you know that this button's broken?
Yeah, that's Visita. I've been having that problem intermittently for a year. I tell them about it. They say it's fixed. And so, yeah, it's...
Okay.
Get that fixed.
I know.
Or, yeah, you might want to replace it because you're losing clients. Yeah. And you're paying for them, too, especially using AdWords. Yeah.
I don't know how many times, and I haven't found a replacement that has the same kind of functionality as Visita right now.
Does anybody know of any other pop-up? I'm sorry, I don't, but yeah.
There's others out there, but...
Does Thrive have it?
No, not like that. I could use a... What's the name of the...
It's called Tedia, the one that I use with the live chat.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know, maybe they might have.
Yeah. I know there's a few other ones out there, Acuity or some other ones out there. Is that what you use? Does it allow you to also do the same thing, schedule consults, things of that sort? Okay, I might have to look at it.
Acuity. AcuityScheduling.com.
Okay. Did you have any other questions or?
No, I mean, I understand I need to break up the text with some images. I've talked to her about that as well. So, but you know, I'm open to any other ideas. Like, again, it's just primarily a direct response site to get consults. That's
one of the things that came to mind, because you said you use Thrive themes. Have you tried an exit pop?
Yeah, it's got one on the homepage.
Oh, it does. So if like they try to move to hit the X button.
I didn't put it on the other page, just the homepage right now because of the bounces.
Oh, okay. I have to do it again in incognito.
I'm sorry, what was the site again? So I noticed another thing about some of the sites that we're looking at tonight. Those of you who have shared, you might want to go with the HTTPS, get it secured on there, because that is definitely affecting sites now as moving forward. Yeah, moving forward, just get it secured on there. So, oh, I did see the pop-up. Let me go.
Can you reload it?
Yeah.
Does she do any like initial consultation for free or anything?
Yeah, it's a 30-minute consult.
Okay, so like for that exit pop, shoot, I was watching an e-commerce case study. I forgot exactly what it was, But the exit pop basically was like, oh shit, it's on a lot of Shopify when it's like stop or wait. Wait, before you leave, make sure to schedule your free 15-minute, initial appointment at no cost to you. So it's like it really highlights that benefit. It's free, which people like. I think that might do a little bit better. Yeah.
I will add that. Thank you. Appreciate that. Got my work cut out for me.
Hopefully.
Well, it's nice. I mean,
we hope you get it.
Have you done any copywriting courses on that way?
no, mostly self-taught.
I highly recommend looking into Ray Edwards. Yeah, he has stuff online that's free. He shares all the time. He has what's called the PASTOR, PASTOR structure, which starts off with the pain. For P is for pain. So you talk about people's pains and why they might be there. Are you stuck in life right now and looking for a better way or whatever?
I have that in the bullets right there. It's a little bit further down.
Yeah.
Those bullets is really where people either resonate with it or they don't.
The key to his success is the structure starting with the pain. That's the thing that I caught on first. And then because right away when they might, by the time they get lower, there's no emotion. Right. The A stands for actually what do they call aggravating the pain even more.
Right. So basically get to the point much faster. Just
of what you're there to help them with, what the pains are. But I suggest looking through that. Just look for his Ray Edwards PASTOR copywriting. And then he has it, like I said, he gives it freely online. He gives all the information on there. But he's done copy for some of the biggest names out there. Even for Tony Robbins, he did his copy for all of his his courses on things. So he's
after the big see what they're doing. How they're breaking it up.
Yeah.
They'll break it up with like social proof too, like testimonials and stuff.
Yes.
Like they'll just like put one in the middle.
Yeah, I put one in the middle of that page.
Yeah.
One of her more powerful testimonials, more compelling. But yeah, I get what you're saying about moving up the pain points higher up. I structured it initially because people are actually searching for a life coach. So her ads are saying looking for a life coach ? But don't know where to start or not sure where to start. And so I wanted to kind of identify that right in the beginning, like so they understand, okay, you're talking to me. But the bullet points, I think, moving them up is because people do resonate. The ones that do resonate with it, they actually mention that in the little questionnaire. They'll say, oh, what you said fit me to a T.
Yeah.
So we know there's
like who I am already. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
That's great. That nailed it on that point. So before you do change, I would actually do a split test.
Yeah.
Because if your success is actually better with this, I'm just throwing out what I know from what I've heard on others.
I've been doing this stuff for 19 years full time, and you still don't know. You still learn new things, right?
Yeah, and things change. That's another. Yep.
Constantly.
What clients say. Another thing you might want to split test is change it to either testimonials or success stories. And how did that? Is it better?
No, I didn't split test it against this. This is new. I just decided to switch it up and go with this first.
So try the Inspectlet, because what you'll do is you'll actually see if when people's eyes follow their mouse. So you'll see their mouse if they stop over and then pause and then keep on going, and then again you'll see if they. Yeah, it's really that Inspectlet is really neat. It's addicting to watch what people do on your site.
To Hotjar.
I guess so. Yeah, I think it's Hotjar.
Hotjar show the mouse because Hotjar is heat mapping, right?
Right.
It does also show the mouse.
Yeah, you just have to it's the premium.
Yeah.
And
So-
it's free for up to so many.
Yeah, up to so many, like 50 visits a day or something. It's quite a bit. You can actually waste a lot of time watching people.
No, but that's powerful information though.
Yeah, it's fun though. It's really fun.
I mean, I do have Google Analytics install a plugin in here, so I look at the organic searches and the session times and all that other stuff to kind of see what's going on behind the scenes. But still, so many little moving pieces.
The other thing is this life coach and career coach is not text. It's at the top of the page, which is what Google's looking for. What is the site about at top? You might want to, if there's a way to do it, I don't know.
Yeah, it is.
Sometimes to make it actual text.
Yeah, I can just eliminate that and then make it text instead. Just change in Photoshop.
And then if you view the image, name it with a life coach logo, because I noticed you have it as a, just the little things. I mean, it may not make an effect, but it can't hurt. And if it does, And it's like all the little things that add up together can make a bigger piece of this formula for it to work.
I think we have one more website.
Yeah.
Chris.
Okay. Is that okay? We're gonna move on. That's it. Hey, anybody have another website? Yeah. Okay, so 6 seconds. Anybody?
Like learning retention.
Okay, so we do need a subheader. That's the first thing about what the site is about. Now, it's great to have a video because first thing is, if people don't know, the first thing to do is click on the video and it should, I'm gonna guess, tell us what your site's about. You might want to make that intro shorter. Okay, unfortunately, because the audio is set up to run through the computers, but I'm gonna guess it tells us what the site is about on that point there. The intros are shorter only because people don't have patience. So as long as they can read it 2 seconds after, make sure it cuts out to the other part, if you can do that. What is the site about?
If you read it, we offer homeschool classes for kids that are homeschooled and social events and a bunch of stuff for kids that are, doing like charter schools and homeschool classes. So.
Okay.
So the site is just like all the schedules, for the next semester, the sign-ups is the online registration. There's articles, calendar, and then contact us and stuff.
Okay, so it's a tool to help homeschool families.
Yeah.
Might want to start with something like that. I guess it would be a subheader of some sort that talks about who's it's going to help and how it's going to help. Making homeschooling easier. If that's what is the final end result that you offer for them? Yeah. Dedicated to bringing the newest and innovative interactive hands-on class. We'll learn. Okay, so this actually try to ask maybe a 6th or 7th grader if this makes sense to them. Reason being is that it should be at that grade level. And if it's too hard for them, then honestly, there's smart parents, of course, in Santa Clarita. But if it's at a 6th or 7th grade level and it's easy to understand, they'll get through it a lot faster and then they'll be engaged. If they have to think, that's this whole title, "Don't Make Me Think," is just brilliant. As little as possible what it's about, then that's what you kind of want to have to do. Because this actually, what I have to slow down and read to comprehend what I'm reading, because it's a little more. It's higher level education of writing. You might want to start looking at that. I don't see headers of your, and the other thing is don't center the text. Okay. On a paragraph like this. Let's justify it.
Click to call the phone number. That would.
Oh yeah, make this a
call. So it'll show up like a link, but just on mobile devices, if people are scrolling through, it makes it easier for them just to hit the button and it'll start the calling process.
If you know how to make a phone number linkable, it's just a really TEL colon, and it's just a little tag that you put in. It's very similar to a hyperlink that you use for the coding. It looks, but it has just a TEL colon. There's a very simple code that you put into it, and it'll make mobile devices automatically bring up their phone to go ahead and start calling. Yeah, so they don't have to remember the number. Just click on it. As well as you always want to make these links to open up their web browsers.
You get a lot of spam on that email?
I think pictures of classrooms would be good. This is the link. That's interesting. What does it take? Click. Okay.
Well, it has already passed 8:30, so I know if any of you guys have to take off, don't feel obligated to stay the whole time.
Anybody else have any comments?
Yeah. Just from looking, I'd move. Well, I guess I'm just so traditional thinking about other websites, but I would fix the header. I'd have the logo pushed top left. There's a lot of white space right here and right up there.
I agree. This search box, you might want to.
Yeah. So if like they say on above the fold, right?
Yeah.
You want to get the biggest benefit immediately. So if you can push that stuff up to the top in the header's not going to take that much space. But even if you justify this to the right and you put like we insert benefit there, right? We help homeschool, yada yada yada. Basically, in one short sentence of what you do and how you can help, that would be just miles ahead. Just being able to say, in under 3 seconds, I know what this website is about and how it can help me.
Yeah, this white space, definitely you're wasting a lot of prime real estate for getting content higher up so that you can give a message stronger. Definitely.
Also on the video, you can, when you click on the embed button, you have the option to remove videos to show after the content has been displayed. I'd remove that just so they don't bounce off to whatever they were watching before.
Yeah, because you might get inappropriate content that's not even related
You're
to
also
it.
able to remove the title off of that too. So it'll only just show basically the controls. And if you can scroll down, I'd break up the content. Like you said, justify left. We talked about, so also adding images like in the other example, adding images to break up the content. There's just some redundancy, just like call by. I like that there's a call to action, but it just seems kind of redundant, saying it over and over and over and over and over again with learn beyond the book at Gmail. I personally like it when we have an indent with these bullet points, the unordered lists.
I agree that's a good point too. Yeah, so it would say piano, violin, guitar.
Yeah. I mean, here's like a perfect opportunity because if you get rid of some of the contact and you add an indent, you can easily add an image that kind of maybe shows somebody tutoring, private music lessons or something along those lines. Wish I could just. Again, images. Can we keep scrolling? I really like that idea with the private consulting. How he had, that scheduled class. Because you do consulting, or it could even just be a floating. But what are you building this with? Sorry. WordPress. WordPress. I don't know the plugin off the top of my head, but some of them they'll have just like a little button that he had right there. It could be just a short call now to schedule your free consultation or something along those lines, where it could be a click to call. It'll float on the bottom of mobile, and it'll float on the bottom of this right here. They can click it, or it'll pop up, and it'll be the little contact form. So they can enter in, what's that? Yeah, why not?
What?
It's almost like that chat that you have on your website.
Why are there 2 phone numbers?
One is my cell phone. That was the original number, and then now there's like an office number, but it's a Google phone. So
Oh, okay. I would stick to 1, only because as time goes on, if you call somebody and they see 1 number, the one that's always being used, it'll direct them to, because when people call me, I don't know the number, I immediately Google it to see who's calling me. Especially if there's no caller ID. And then it'll pull me to a site right away. Then I can answer it. I mean, I'm usually sitting at a computer during my workday, so that's good. The other thing is just having 2 numbers. I don't think it's necessary. Just make one dominant one.
All right.
You might want to make a stronger about us statement, a little longer, and add an image. Make it friendly on that
That'd
way.
be a great place to put just some images about what you do.
Yeah.
I'd fix some of the formatting on the bottom, or like the social and like. Is it like or?
Yeah.
Yeah, just some of the social. It looks unformatted. You can even put that phone number at the top, kind of like with those e-commerce websites. Because the objective for this website is ultimately to get people to call you, right? You can have the phone number at the top versus the bottom. bottom right. You can test those. I actually haven't tested or seen a case study on that. So.
What are those three on top of the book?
Oh, it's just a logo.
Pages?
Knowledge coming out of the book, basically.
Yeah.
But we own it.
You know what you might want to do is ask some of the parents about the functionality of the site.
Mm-hmm.
If there's any, just ask them, is there anything that frustrates you about the site?
Yeah.
Because if they're frustrated at it, that could mean that you're going to be losing new clients who just don't want to take the time to figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
Because there are those that already are with you, you don't have to worry about offending them or them. But try asking them, because they're the ones that are using your site. Hey, what's hard? What's easy about our site? But get just a real view of your clientele who's going through there. These the thing is, the amount of links that you have, they don't say that they're links. And now they're blue, which is good, but just I don't know if there's a way to go ahead and tell people there's links, but
Those aren't links?
they are. But it seems just like link heavy. With maybe description, so you don't have to click on it. I don't know.
They go to the registration form, so you have to click on that to get to the registration.
Oh, for the different areas.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
Just people are putting in buttons, and just the intent of what a button does.
Yeah, I think a button is what I'm looking for. Yeah.
Sometimes, at least when I look at a link, I think, when I look at a link, I think, okay, well, this link's going to take me to some more information about some more information, not necessarily an action, what I can do. That makes sense?
Okay. Contact us, and then. All right. Anybody have any other comments and questions?
Phone number. Yeah.
That should be prominent. Actually, if anything, that would be something that should be right prominent at the top. Call us today. Yeah. That, and then maybe your locations would be another thing that you want to have prominently toward the top. A headline like that starts right here that actually has your homeschooling resource serving Santa Clarita, Lancaster, those there. But because if somebody actually is searching, what are they going to search for that might be looking for your resources? Homeschooling.
Santa Clarita.
But what would parents be looking for?
They would type homeschooling Santa Clarita probably.
Okay, so so you want to use those words definitely in resources for Santa Clarita families and Lancaster families and those type of things. Do you offer different things for different areas?
Yeah, they're classes. Every area has different classes.
Okay, so then you might want to actually have homeschooling in Lancaster for Lancaster families, and then maybe even on its own page, so it can be its own headline, and those type of things. So when somebody in Lancaster types in homeschooling Lancaster, that page will show up on Google because it's the header, it's the title. So that might be something that you want to do. And you can make it as a sub page off of the locations tab.
Yeah.
So that when it goes down Lancaster, Santa Clarita, when they click on it, then it says Homeschooling Resource Center for, and that would actually get some traction on that for Google, because I don't think you're going to have a lot of competition,
Yeah, not a lot.
For resources, right? Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, because I like what you do with your website, and I'm sorry we ran out of time, but no, I'd love to go actually, because you're the e-commerce site. I mean, that's another thing that I really like about it too. But yeah, and we've done it before, so I'd like to see what updates you've done. No, absolutely. We'll start with you next month. All right, thank you guys very much for all your. Does anyone have any questions?
Thank you. Cool.
All right, thank you.